Welcome to Cornell Marine Program's Digital Learning Podcast. This month, we're doing a mini-series on a review of 2021, focusing on the Marine Program projects. Yesterday, we discussed the Sugar Kelp project, and today's topic is focused on the Peconic Bay Scallops. Time to connect with Mr. C. Hey, Mr. C, how's it going? How was your night?
It was good, Rory. After the wind died down, I actually went for a walk around the neighborhood. Trying to get some exercise, every day.
Yeah, I'm trying to get more exercise too. And you know about my special green smoothie, right?
Yes, I do. Rory, the other day I went for a walk on the beach, and this is a beach I usually find lots of shells, like jingle shells, slipper shells, and even Peconic Bay Scallop shells. But this year, when I was walking around, I really didn't see many scallop shells.
Well, as you know, the local fall scallop harvest has been hit hard the last 2 years, and the adult scallops seem to be dying during the summer. Now, I went with the Cornell Marine Program Scallop team on a survey trip to determine the possible reasons why the adult scallops are dying during the summer. Here's a clip from that trip. For the third year in a row, things are not looking good for our local bay scallops. You've seen the headlines, you've heard the rumors, and maybe learned a bit about the theories surrounding what's going on. And unfortunately, none of it's positive. Several factors are weighing into the bay scallop die-off, mainly rising water temperatures, disease, and predation from cow-nosed rays. Numerous efforts by local researchers are currently underway to gather data and pinpoint what's going on. At CCE, we are specifically targeting our research to try to determine if temperature and timing of spawning are attributing to the population decline, and to what degree. Dr. Steve Tuttlebeck, along with his team, have set up a network of 7 sites throughout the Peconic estuary, consisting of 8 bags of scallops.
This is our bi-weekly sampling of one of our 7 field sites in the Peconic Bays where we're monitoring bay scallop population health. So these cages have been out since somewhere around the beginning of May, middle of May or so. And we wanted to make sure we got them out before they started spawning. So the scallops that we stocked into here are hatchery reared scallops. They came from the longline system up in Orient Harbor. And the reason for that is that we weren't sure we'd have enough animals from the natural populations to be able to sample all through the season. If the die-off happened, which it has at most sites, then we knew that we'd have a better chance of getting the animals we needed to if we stocked hatchery reared scallops. So they all came from the same source. They all started out at the same point in the spawning cycle. But what we've seen, actually, is what we've expected based on prior work we've done, is that the spawning cycles of scallops in the 7 different areas in the Peconic Bays are actually different based on water temperature and other factors, food levels perhaps. So being able to monitor reproductive condition every 2 weeks at each of the 7 sites, we really are able to fine-tune focus on factors that may be responsible for the mortality. 2 more weeks, something we do every month. We also collect animals for disease diagnostics, which are brought to Stony Brook. Dr. Bassam Alam's lab will look at the prevalence of the disease or parasite that is partly responsible for the die-off of the scallops. And then we'll also do surveys of the natural populations to see how they are faring in the context of very warm temperatures again this year. And also we believe that spawning of scallops is contributing to that physiological stress that may tip them over the edge and cause them to die. So that's why we're monitoring reproduction every 2 weeks, so we have an idea of, okay, when does spawning occur, how does that align with water temperature, dissolved oxygen levels, and parasite load, and then when is the signature of the mortality events occurring. So this is a temperature salinity monitor, monitors them every 15 minutes. And this would certainly be able to last through the middle of October when we complete the study, but bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. So we want to make sure that we have this data because we've already seen large mortality, so we want to be able to look at the environmental factors and say, okay, you know, was there a critical increase in temperature around the time they spawn? So this data set is golden. So in looking at all those things together, we're hoping to be able to better understand what's driving these mass die-offs of bay scallops.
I sure hope the scallop population can bounce back, Mr. C.
Yes, Rory, I grew up in upstate New York, and when I first moved here 30 years ago, I got to witness a Peconic Bay scallop harvest. I still remember shucking my first scallop and then pan frying it in garlic and butter. Man, they are so good.
Hey, remember when we did our scallop cook-off podcast and we used the that pan-fried scallop recipe?
Yes, I do.
But the time I remember with the bay scallops the best is when I first started working for Cornell Marine Program, and Steve Schott took me out to Halleck's Bay out in Orient, and we went scuba diving, and we just picked up scallops right off the bottom. It was very, very cool. And that hasn't happened in a long time, Mr. C.
Yeah, I when people come visit the Marine Lab, we have touch tanks, Rory, and we have a lot of times live scallops in there. And I love, like, Jeff's had them open it up a little bit, and then in the light or the sunlight, their blue eyes are so iridescent, and people are just amazed when they see it.
Yeah, it's such a sight to see. Now, I have a cool photo, and I think it was taken in Halleck's Bay too, underwater, of a scallop just like, right there looking at you. It's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, that's a great photo you got, Rory. Water quality is, important for scallops and other marine life. So, what do you think about the next show we do it on water quality?
I think that's a great idea. So, Mr. C, what do you know about PRBs?
PRBs? What does a PRB have to do with water quality?
Okay, I'll give you a clue. A PRB is sort of a wall, and it allows water to flow through it. So let's see if Mr. C can figure out that tonight. And we'll see you guys tomorrow on another installment of This Year in Review.